What's up, everyone? Today is October 9th of 2023. My name is Derek, and in this video, we're going to talk about the passing of Chef Michael Chiarello, a Food Network television host, who passed away at the age of 61 after an acute allergic reaction. Now, if you think that someone who spends their life around food dying of what appears to be a food allergy is a bit ironic, I certainly agree with you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the numerology of this story. And to understand the language of numerology, it's important to have a grasp of Gematria, the ancient number lettering system, which assigns a numeric value to every word, name, and phrase in our language. So Michael Chiarello was a star on the Food Network. And what stood out right away when I made some initial measurements is that the Food Network first began live broadcasting on November 23rd of 1993. And when you measure from that date to October 6th, last Friday, when Chiarello is said to have died, we find that he died 10,909 days into the network's establishment. Using the reverse alphabetic order, where the alphabet is simply flipped around so that Z is 1, Y is 2, and A is 3, or I'm sorry, A is 26, the Food Network has a Gematria value of 199. Now, in numerology, these zeros are typically ignored. So this here represents this number, 199. 199 is a prime number divisible only by 1 and itself, and it's the 46th prime number. In the reduction or Pythagorean form of Gematria, the word sacrifice has a value of 46. And when looking through these stories, one must wonder what's really going on, as again, the irony of this story really shines through. In standard English Gematria, which uses the current 26-letter alphabetic order, but uses the ancient Hebrew and Greek charts to structure the numbers, in this method, Michael Chiarello sums to 332, which is the same as the Latin value as blood sacrifice. But what really stands out is that there's a phrase in the headline in quotes. And whenever we see this, it typically means that there's important gematria underlying this phrase. In Sumerian gematria, which is a cipher that multiplies the alphabetic order by 6, the first perfect number, notice how this phrase has a value of 2190, acute allergic reaction, 2190. Well, when Michael Chiarello died, he had these numbers in his age, 3,219 weeks and 0 days. So here we have the 2190. In English standard gematria, this phrase sums to 1102, a lot like 112. Chiarello died 112 days before his birthday. But what stands out about this is that 112 days is also 16 weeks, exactly. In the reverse alphabetic order, the name Chiarello sums to 160. Now, in the alphabetic order, the name Chiarello equals 83. And this is the next number that's going to take us through the next part of this video. This 83 is also found in the reverse gematria of the word murder, 83. And 83 is a prime number, the 23rd prime. Chiarello passed away on the 6th, which was a date with a life lesson number of 23. This is also interesting in how it relates to the television Food Network, which was actually the name of the station when it first aired. It was known as the Television Food Network. So in the ordinal cipher of Gematria, we're also going to crack open Latin. Television Food Network sums to 2323 in Latin. And in ordinal, it also sums to the 23rd triangular number. So the number 23 stamped into the Gematria of Television Food Network. Furthermore, in the reverse method with capital letters, Food Network equals 203. So perhaps it's not a coincidence that the Food Network was first launched on the 23rd day of the month. But to be precise, it was 1123. Now, when you multiply 11 times 23, you get a product of 253. Prime factors of 11 times 23. And this 253 number really stood out. Currently, the Food Network is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, which is a company that formed as the result of a corporate merger on April 8th of 2022. April 8th is the same date as next year's total solar eclipse to pass over the United States, the second of two twin eclipses in a little over 6 years. In the alphabetic order, Warner Brothers Discovery sums to 253. On the date that Michael Chiarello died, not only was he 253 days after his birthday, but he was also a total of 22,533 days old. The number 253 is also a triangular number. If you add every number 1 through 22, you'll end up with a sum of 253. And the number 22 also stands out because the word food in the standard Pythagorean reduction method sums to 22. And this brings us again back to the quoted phrase in the headline, acute allergic reaction, which has gematria of 202. Now, this is a number that I talk about somewhat frequently because total solar eclipse equals 202. And as I mentioned, Warner Brothers Discovery, founded on April 8th, which is this big eclipse date for next year. So total solar eclipse is 202 in ordinal. Ritual human sacrifice is 202 in Latin ordinal. Measuring from the date that Michael Chiarello died to the date of the next total solar eclipse on April 8th is a span of 186 days. The show that Chiarello hosted on the Food Network was called Easy Entertaining. In ordinal, easy entertaining equals 186. Using capital letters, a cipher called capitals added, which is based in the alphabetic order but adds 26 for every capital letter in the phrase. Notice how the name Michael Chiarello sums to 186, and the name Chiarello, also 186. When you take this entire headline given to us by Fox News, one of these occultic media outlets, notice how this entire headline gives us a gematria value of 1860 in the alphabetic order. In the standard reduction method, easy entertaining sums to 78. Well, if you measure from the date that the Food Network, actually from Warner Brothers Discovery, from their founding to the death of Michael Chiarello, you get exactly 78 weeks. In Sumerian Gematria, human sacrifice, also 780. And Michael Chiarello has a proper name to die in connection with a solar eclipse, as Michael Chiarello sums to 134, just like solar eclipse, 134. In standard Gematria, solar eclipse equals 503. And with capital letters, Warner Brothers Discovery, also 503. He died at the age of 61, but news of his death didn't make mainstream headlines until October 8th, which was a date with 61 numerology. And in the Latin and standard methods, 61 and total solar eclipse both have the same 994 Gematria. And whenever I see 994, I kind of think of 1994. The Food Network launched just about 1 month before 1994. The name Michael also has matching 33 Gematria with eclipse, and his death on October 6th fell a span of 3 months and 3 weeks exactly before his birthday. He would have been 62 years old, and he was also born in the year 62, which points to the Gematria of the word sacrifice in reverse reduction. Now, in my last video, I mentioned the number 108, as this is a significant number in astronomy, especially related to the sun and the moon, the two celestial objects that give us eclipses. Chiarello was born in Red Bluff, California, which has a Gematria value of 108. And the date he was born had primary numerology of 108. Perhaps this is why they waited until October 8th to publish his death in the news, 10/8. In Latin Gematria, the name Michael Chiarello also sums to 272. This is a significant number to the moon, as when you divide the diameter of the moon by the diameter of the Earth, roughly, you get 0.272 repeating on the calculator. In Hebrew, the word for eclipse gives us this Gematria value of 156. And this is probably because eclipses always occur 1, 5, or 6 lunar phases apart. And I don't often try to pull up a website to confirm this, but you can look this up yourself. It's always 1, 5, or 6 lunar phases. In the alphabetic order, Chef Michael Chiarello equals 156. And of course, they're calling him a star, right? Just like how our sun is the star at the center of our solar system. Well, notice how star Michael Chiarello equals 192, which is the Latin value of eclipse. But with the S exception in Gematria, star Michael Chiarello, or is it host Michael Chiarello, equals 106 like the date he died. Maybe a little bit of a stretch on that last one, but certainly no stretches in the powerful alignments when measuring from his death to the next eclipse and how it connects to Warner Brothers Discovery, who thought it would be a good idea to merge on the date of that eclipse. All right, everyone, that'll do it for this one. Peace, love, God bless. Talk to you next time. See ya.